Adding fractions. We got two examples here. The very first one, the purpose of it is because it's really straightforward, is just to carry out the process. How do we add fractions? And the first part of adding any fraction is we have to make sure the denominator is the same. So if the denominator is the same, that means we can just really carry on to the next step. We can make this one single denominator. Once they're the same, we just write it all over one value, and the numerator just becomes the two numerators, and this is called an operator here, which just means addition, subtraction. So
it would be 8. Oh.
Like that in this case. So the numerator is 4. Sorry, the denominator is 4, and the numerator is 3 plus 2. And all we have to do is carry out that top part. So once we get 3 plus 2, we end up with 5 over 4. That's it. I could switch that to a mixed fraction if I want, but this is an acceptable answer.
I thought like it was like the 4 plus 4 for the denominator.
No. So what it is once you have a common denominator, you just leave it as that. So we don't actually add them together. Once they're the same, we just write it as a single value. Okay. Now, the second one gets a little trickier because we don't have a common denominator. Yes. So there's something we can do with fractions is we can change them. We can scale them up or down by multiplying both the top and the bottom, or the numerator and denominator, by the same value. And what we just need to do is figure out what would be a nice common denominator. What is a common number between 3 and 9? And sometimes they'll tell you to find the lowest common multiple. Really, you just have to find any common multiple between these. So 3 and 9. What's nice is if I know my 3 times tables really quickly, I can go 3, 6, 9. 9 is a multiple of 3, which means I don't actually have to change 9. I can leave that. I just got to change my 3 value. The question then becomes, what do I multiply 3 by to get 9? I can do division. I can say, hey, what's 3 divided by 9? Or I can just figure out 3 times what is equal to 9, whichever is easier for you. And once you kind of work this piece out, you'll end up figuring out it's 3. So once we know that we have to multiply 3 by 3, we do it to both the top and the bottom of the fraction. Whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. Otherwise, this is no longer the same fraction. So when we go to do that, we'll end up with 3 over 9. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 over 9. Now we're at that spot where we have a common denominator, which is exactly where we need to be. So now we can write this all over that single denominator. We don't change any of it. And then we write just the numerators together, 3 plus 1, which ends up being 4 over 9. Yeah, and that's it. That is a pretty simple process. We just got to make sure that common denominator. Subtraction is identical. Instead of an addition sign, you just have a subtraction sign on top.
So what we're really looking for in like the whole is really the common denominator?
Yeah, that is extremely important for this piece. Exactly. Okay.